Hello everybody, Game Bristolian here. Today we're going to have a look at my Nintendo 3DS collection. Basically, I go for each game, tell you a little bit about it, and tell you if I think it's any good or not. So, first up, we got Super Mario 3D Land. Really good game. For my money, probably one of the best games on the system. 3D platformer, lots to do, lots to explore. If you played 3D World on the Wii U or the Switch, kind of quite similar to it. It's sort of almost like a predecessor, but yeah, this is definitely worth getting. Next, we got Mario Kart 7. I thought I'd get all the Mario games out of the way first. So, yeah, Mario Kart. I think they introduced the hand gliders in this one as well. Really good game as well. You can't go wrong with Mario Kart. To be fair, they're always pretty good little games. Yeah, this is recommended. Next up, New Super Mario Bros. 2. So this is a 2D platformer. I think they've done quite a few of those. I think they've done one on the original DS, for Wii and a Wii U. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, the big gimmick here is you constantly collect coins. Like, you end up with literally tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of coins. It's a nice idea, but I think the problem is it makes the game a little bit too easy, because you end up finishing a game with like 100, 150 extra lives where you collected so many coins. But apart from that, it's still a really solid game. Next up, we got Super Mario Maker 3DS. So this is a port of the Wii U game. Basically, you can make your own Mario stages. That's a big gimmick here. You also get 100 already preloaded on a disc or on the cartridge, sorry. So if you want to just play the ones already there, you can. It is good. The only slight issue I'd say with this is on the Wii U version, you could share your levels and play other people's levels online. This you sort of can, but you can only do it through Street Pass, and I know Street Pass isn't particularly popular, so yeah, it's still good, it's still worth picking up. Next up, Mario Sports Superstars. So this is 5 sports in one, all featuring Mario. Yeah, this is pretty good actually. You've got football or soccer, baseball, tennis, horse riding for some reason, and golf. I probably played the football, the tennis, and the golf the most. Yeah, this is pretty good value actually, to be fair, because you're getting effectively 5 games in one. You obviously got the normal Mario characters you can select. Plays pretty nicely, looks nice. Yeah, recommended. So this is Mario and Donkey Kong, and Mario versus Donkey Kong. These are basically puzzle platformers. It's a pretty good game. As I said, basically 2 games in one. Now, this didn't actually contain a cartridge. It contained like a download code, which I don't mind, but I would have still liked to have it on a cartridge. But apart from that, yeah, pretty good games. Next up, it's Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS. Really good game, this. Port of a Wii U game. If you ever played Smash before, you know pretty much what to expect. Yeah, pretty good overall. The only slight complaint I'd say about it is, how can I put it now? Because the screen's a lot smaller than the home versions, can be slightly difficult to make out what they're doing sometimes, but other than that, it's still a very good game. Now we got Tetris Ultimate. So it's a Tetris game, obviously. Pretty good, pretty solid. Again, depends how much you like Tetris, because it's stacking blocks really. It's good fun, but yeah, whether it's worth full price or not is debatable. Resident Evil The Mercenaries 3D. So this is, well, obviously a Resident Evil game, but they're kind of challenges, as it were. You kind of get dropped in an area, and you've got to survive for, say, 3 minutes or whatever and see how big a score you can get. It's good. I believe there was another Resident Evil game on the 3DS, which I don't have. Revelations, I think. But, yeah, it's worth a play. Puzzle Bubble Universe. Puzzle game. Obviously, it's one where you shoot the little different coloured balls at the bottom of the screen, and you've got to match them up, and they sort of disappear. You may well have played something similar to this because it's been on mobile phones and handhelds for years. Yeah, worth a look. Next up, we got Ultimate NES Remix. This is sort of a mini-game compilation. Each little game is based off an old NES game. They're kind of short little 30-second challenges. Really little good game, this. I believe it started out on a Wii U as well. And yeah, you see you got Zelda, Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, Metroid, Dr. Mario. Really cool game, this. We've also got Famicom Remix, which is basically Japanese versions. You got Super Mario Brothers or Speed Mario Brothers, which is the original Super Mario Brothers, but speeded up. Challenge modes. Loads of really cool little stuff on this. If you've, have nostalgia of the NES, this is definitely worth getting. Chibi Robo Ziplash. Platformer. It's fine. You play this little robot guy. You're basically constantly looking for sources of power like batteries and plugs and things. It's okay. It's a sort of very mid platformer. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing terrible with it either. Ridge Racer 3D. So this is Ridge Racer, Arcade Racer, if you've never played Ridge Racer. Really good game, this. I'd say this is probably my second favourite racing game after Mario Kart on the system. Very arcadey, lots of sort of drifts and sort of sliding about. A lot of cars, a lot of tracks. Really worth a look at this. I believe this was a launch title or a very early title, but it still looks pretty good and it still plays pretty nicely. So yeah, recommended. So now we got Sega 3D Classics Collection. So this is basically a series of old Sega arcade games, Mega Drive games, or Genesis games, I guess. You've got Power Drift, Puyo Puyo 2, Sonic, Fantasy Zone 1 and 2, Altered Beast, Galaxy Force, Thunderblade, Maze Walker. All really good games. I believe quite a lot of those were separate download titles, but they've done a compilation where it was just 9 of them on a disc. So yeah, if you like old Sega games, recommended. Next up, we got Kirby Triple Deluxe. This is obviously a Kirby game, 2D platformer. Really good fun news. They bright and colourful. You sort of you can constantly pick up different abilities, and gives Kirby different weapons and stuff. Yeah, really cracking little game, this. You'll get some extra little modes as well. Kirby Fighters and Dash, like racing mini game sort of thing. Really good. And that was followed up by Kirby Planet Robot. Kind of more of the same, but still very, very good. The big thing here is you can get into these sort of robot suits, which are like mechs. And, you can sort of fight things and, certain bosses, you basically need them to beat them, really. But, yeah, this is really good as well. Again, you got the main game and you got mini games and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, this is highly recommended. Next up, we got Star Fox 64 3D. So this is a port of Star Fox 64 from Nintendo 64. They've upgraded the graphics a lot. It seems a little bit easier the N64 version as well. Really good fun, spaceship shooter. It's cracking little game, plays really nicely. Looks great as well for a 3DS game. My only slight criticism with this is it is quite short. Like, you probably finish it in an hour. Now, I think a thing of this sort of game is you replay it, get a better score and things like that. But yeah, that's probably the only thing to bear in mind. It's probably at most an hour, hour and a half long. Talking of flying games, we got Ace Combat, Assault Horizon Legacy. Again, flying game, flying sort of jets in the Air Force. Really cool little game, this. Been going for years, the Ace Combat series, I think since the PS1. But yeah, sort of dogfighting, taking down enemies on the ground and the other planes. Really cool little game, this. Yeah. Next up, we got Sonic Generations. Obviously, platformer, Sonic game. Really good. Port of the PS3, Xbox 360 game. Yeah, really cool little game, this. I would say if you like early Sonic games, you know, like the Mega Drive ones, the 16-bit ones, this is really worth getting because it sort of feels quite a lot like that. Next up, we got Tekken 3D Prime Edition. So Tekken is a one-on-one 3D fighter. Really good game. Little bit bare bones, like it looks nice, but there's not that many modes or anything like that. Still pretty good though. You also get given a Tekken movie, like an animated movie as well as a game. It's good. I'm not sure you'd really want to watch a full movie on your 3DS. Apart from that, you know, it's worth a look at. Steel Diver. It's a submarine game, like side-on submarine game. It's okay. It's a little bit dull in places, if I'm honest. It's not terrible or anything, but lots of touchscreen stuff on it. It's just a bit slow paced for my liking. I like something a little bit sort of faster to it. Next we got Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. Really good game, this sort of puzzle platformer. Really charming. You play Toad, you have to work out little puzzles and little traps and things like that. I believe this was also on the Wii U and the Switch, if I remember as well. Yeah, cracking little game. You know, you sort of each level is like a small little square, but you sort of rotate it and you can move it every angle and you can find little bits. It's really cracking little charming platformer, this. So next up, we got Final Fantasy to Rhythm. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Curtain Call. This is, well, it's basically a rhythm game, a music game. But it's taken music from the entire Final Fantasy series, going way back to the first one on NES, right up to the most recent ones. Yeah, it's good. It's all to do with basically tapping the screen in time with the music, and you know, you defeat bosses. You can build up a sort of your own little team, your own little gang, and you know, do more damage. It has RPG elements, but all the battles are done using, you know, rhythm games. But yeah, good game. Next up, we got Super Monkey Ball 3D. So if you've never played Super Monkey Ball, you basically play a monkey in a little ball and you roll around these little stages, collecting bananas, try not to fall off. Really good. I believe it started off on the GameCube, the original one. But yeah, really worth a look at this. Lots of mini games as well. You got a sort of monkey race, which is like a kart racer. Loads of different sort of extra bits once you play the main game. So yeah, recommended. Next up, we got WarioWare Gold. So this is, well, I say a mini game compilation. It's always micro games, as it says there. If you've never played WarioWare, they're very, very short little games, one after the other, very fast paced. Some revolve around pressing a button, some revolve around tilting the 3DS, some, you know, some about the touchscreen stuff. But yeah, really good, this. Some based on old Nintendo games as well, which I thought was quite cool. So yeah, this is recommended. Next up, Dead or Alive Dimensions. So it's a 3D one-on-one fighting game. If you ever played Dead or Alive before, you'll know what it is. Yeah, really good game, this. Very fast paced, lots of game modes, lots of extra characters and things like that. I reckon. I'd say this is probably better than Tekken, which you saw before, if you want a 3D fighter. Another fighting game, Super Street Fighter 4, 3D edition. Yeah, really good as well. Port of the PS3 360 game. We've done a very good job, in fact, of porting this over. Really does not look much different from the home versions at all. You've still got all the characters, all the moves, all the locations. Really well done, this. I believe this was a launch game, or it was a launch game in the UK anyway. Next up, Pilot Rings Resort. So if you don't know Pilot Rings, it started off on the Super Nintendo and the N64 then after that. You basically take control of different aircrafts effectively, like you got a little plane, hang glider, jetpack. The island in this is from a Wii game, is it? Not Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort. I think it's exactly the same island. It's good. I would have maybe preferred a more traditional Pilot Wings game, but yeah, it's better than nothing. Next up, we got Yoshi's New Island. So this is a 2D platformer, obviously starring Yoshi. If you've ever played Yoshi's Island on a Super Nintendo, this is pretty much, well, not the same thing, but very similar to it. Yeah, you play Yoshi, you have to sort of guide him through worlds. You can pick up sort of eggs and use them as weapons to chuck them at people. Yeah, good game. And we got F1 2021, sorry, pardon me, F1 2011, sorry. It's a Formula 1 game. Pretty good racing game. Again, how much you enjoy this is really going to be dependent on how much you like Formula 1. But, you know, it's fine. As far as I know, they only ever done one on a 3DS. They never done a sequel to this. Maybe it didn't sell that well, but yeah, never mind. We got Rayman 3D. So this is a 3D platformer. Yeah, it's okay. I believe this was originally Rayman 2 on the Dreamcast and the N64. It's fine, to be honest. I've always kind of preferred the Rayman games when they're in 2D more than 3D, but you know, it's okay. I believe this also came out on the original DS as well. I just noticed as well, I seem to have a Spanish version of this for some reason. I don't know why, but never mind. Next, we got FIFA 12, football game. Obviously, it's fine, pretty generic, you know. Really, again, depends how much you like football, but yeah, plays okay. And finally, one more football game, Pro Evolution Soccer 2011. Yeah, this is probably the better of the two. You don't have official teams in this, or you have a couple of official teams, but not like the entire Premier League. But I would say it probably plays better, if I'm honest. I've always kind of preferred the feel of PES over FIFA myself. But yeah, pretty good. Now, I just thought I'd quickly show you the two 3DSs I have here. This is the original model from 2011, and this is the XL, I think, from 2013. There are a ton of different models of a 3DS. You got the 2DS, you got 3DS, or the new 3DS, which I think had a slightly upgraded chip. Got the new 2DS, and there's probably a load more that I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, those are the two I got. I'd say I probably use the XL a lot more, just purely because I think the screen's a bit better, and it's just, you know, bigger as well, easier to see. So, that was my 3DS collection. Thank you very much for watching. If there's any games which you think may be able to pick up, which I haven't, let me know in the comments. I've always trying to sort of get a bigger collection of 3DS because it's reasonably cheap to collect for at the moment. May well go up in the future, but yeah. With that, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you next time.